So now we're gonna get started. All right, we have a lively bunch in here today and fun stuff. Bonnie White is in the house, which is exciting. And Rainy Hensley is here as well. So, and the rest of us as well. So yeah. A couple of things just to get started today. Yesterday was the 250th birthday of the United States Marine Corps, which is really cool. I know Bonnie's son, Kelly Spire's son, there's others. That's just really cool to think about. And today is obviously Veterans Day. We have several veterans. Just want to say thank you. I know it's the greatest honor, and for all of us that people would actually stand up and do what they do to provide freedom for us. And I just don't want us ever to take that for granted. So enjoy Veterans Day. No mail when you go home today. The banks are closed. The bond market is closed, but the stock market is open. Figure that one out. So bizarre. Quote is a little bit different this month. It's not actually a quote from somebody. It's just something I heard recently, and I just thought it would share it because I think it applies not just to us personally, but also in our professional lives as well. So I'll go ahead and read it here. Nobody likes an alarm clock, but it serves a great purpose in waking us up. Sometimes we need to be the alarm clock that wakes up others in our lives. And I just think about this. Nobody likes the alarm clock. It goes off and you're actually mad at it, but you do need to get up. That's a good thing. But sometimes we need to be alarm clock in other people's lives and point things out to them and love people enough to have hard conversations. And I think as financial planners, sometimes with our clients, we have to be the alarm clock in their life as well. But I just thought it was just a great thing to think about. I always kind of laugh if, hey, this parent lets their kid do whatever they want. Well, the parent actually who disciplines and corrects is actually the one that shows true love to that child. And I think we need to do that for other people. So no quote. We'll get back to a normal quote next month, but just want to share that with everybody. Calendars. A lot of things on the calendar today, Laura. Yeah. Look at that. December monthly consortium briefing is going to be Tuesday, December 9th, 10 a.m. There's going to be a mandatory Emerald Town Hall meeting. And are we going to talk a little bit more about that? Or
yes, Crystal will talk about it.
Crystal's going to talk about that. That's great. So definitely make sure you put that on your calendar. Nick Murray, we talked about having Nick Murray, kind of the retreat comes a little bit early. Nick was going to be on December 4th. He is actually going to have a medical procedure that day. And so we are going to look at it. It's either going to be, I think, December 8th or December 11th, waiting for him to get back to us on that. We will get that out to you as soon as possible. Again, if you want to hear from Nick Murray, industry legend, he will not let us record it. So you're gonna want to make sure you're there live for it. So go back. I skipped over a few things there. Holiday luncheon at Maggiano's. I believe the invitation just went out for that. December 2nd at 11:30 a.m. And Toys for Tots lunch, our 21st year. Bonnie, do you want to share a little bit about that?
I would love to share a little bit about that.
Awesome.
Good morning, everyone. We will be hosting our 21st annual Toys for Tots luncheon. We should have 2 Marines here. We had confirmation of them coming, but I need to hear from one of them, which I surely will soon here. I'm going to be putting the donation boxes out in the lobby before I leave today, and there's already toys to put in them. So my email that I sent out last week, get shopping IFG, because we need to, I think it was $225 last year, I think we collected. Yep. And we sort of did a quick calculation, and over the 20 years, we think we've contributed about 4,200 toys.
Yeah, 4,200 toys. That's pretty awesome.
Plus donations. They bring a little red lockbox, so if you want to do a check or some cash or whatever, they can take that as well that day. And so we'll have our luncheon as usual. Sarah Reed is going to help me again this year. She's going to be sending you out the sign-up genius for the food for the luncheon. We'll be in here again in the executive conference room starting at 11:30 on December the 11th. So I love Nick Murray, but if he could schedule around us, that would be awesome.
Nick will not mess up our Toys for Tots.
So thank you very much in advance, because I know we're going to fill up those boxes. Oh, the theme. What did we decide? What? What is it? Wishing? Oh yeah, wishing you happy holiday. So we can incorporate Christian and Jewish, because we have several representatives now in the office here in Atlanta for IFG. So we've always done that, but more of an emphasis now. So happy holidays, everyone.
Awesome. Awesome. A lot of things planned coming up, and that's always a lot of fun.
I wish about it.
The annual retreat, January 15th to 17th. I know registration's out. We'll talk more about that here in a few minutes as well. All right, birthday list, not just the Marines. Who else has November birthdays? All right, look at all those names. Happy birthday to everybody. Chantal and Sarah, happy birthday today to you guys. And I hope you guys are having a great month so far. But definitely reach out to your peers and tell them happy birthday and let them know that you're thinking about them. All right, Alzheimer's update. I'm assuming that's going to be Don. Don, are you on the call?
I am.
There he is.
Click, click. Yeah, so another great year so far for raising money for Alzheimer's, which we know is a horrible disease, and most of us unfortunately know someone who has or is dealing with dementia. But it's up to 105,000. Our goal every year is 100,000. There's only been 1 year we did not achieve that, and that was 2020 during COVID, but it was still a good raise. So we still have another month and a half, almost 2 months. So keep them coming in. It's been great so far, and it's for an incredible cause.
Awesome.
Oh,
Awesome.
by the way, just a quick reminder on Toys for Tots, IFG matches every toy. So Bonnie, correct me, it seems like we're like roughly 400 toys a year, I think. So each all these kids get a new toy.
Thank you for mentioning that. I forgot that IFG will match us toy for toy, so that's real important too. So that's helped us achieve the number. I think Lane and I did a quick calc. It's about 4,200 toys over the 20 years.
A lot of kids. That's awesome. All right, thank you, Don. New partnership with IFG with discounted prices. Wealth.com. This is exciting. I'll share a little bit about it, but we've been able to really significantly reduce even below the LPL discount. It's about $3,600 a year or $300 a month for an advisor license, and the admin license is about $87.50 a month. This is a great tool. This is a great tool. And Don, do you want to add any more commentary about Wealth.com?
Sure. Let me click back on.
Perfect.
So this is brought to us by a couple of advisors, Terrell Boone being one of them, who really were interested in this. So we started digging in. This has been a 6-month project. Very simply, I think what a lot of people are pretty excited about at our last business planning meeting, the founders, I think just about everybody is really looking forward to this. And the primary function so many people are looking forward to it is the AI capability. It's like a list of plans. So you take the estate planning documents, wills, trusts, powers, and in 5 minutes, it lays everything out for you. It charts it out. Who's the trustee? Who are the executors? Who are the beneficiaries? Something that would take you probably an hour at least to do going through these documents. That aspect alone, I think, is pretty amazing. And it lays out for the client too. It's wonderful because they don't read their documents and they forget. And the other aspect, you can actually create estate documents, wills, trusts, powers of attorney. It's all legal. It's legal in all states. Some people may do that. I think most people still want to work with their local attorneys. But one example at the business planning meeting, it's a great idea with your clients when their grandkids or kids turn 18. You can prepare a durable power of attorney for the kid right away, healthcare power. So that's kind of it. It's great pricing, great support, and I'll shut up.
That's awesome. And Dana, when do they need to let you know by? Tomorrow. All right. So yeah, if you can let Dana know by tomorrow if you want in on that pricing. And go ahead and start. I believe I think it's a couple of months where it's no charge and it starts in January or it's something along those lines. But reach out to Dana if you want more help and more questions on wealth.com. I believe we have a webinar that they did for us, and then we can also get you in touch with them as well. So All right, we have some new people in the room. I'm excited. Amy Harris, who's sitting here right next to me, is actually going to be my new executive assistant, and she started yesterday.
Yeah.
So she knows nobody in the room so far, but she's gonna be working really closely with me, and very excited to have her. I've known her and her husband Rob for several years now. So
Yep.
welcome aboard.
Thank you. Happy to be here. Can't wait to get to know everybody. I think Lan was really happy to find somebody whose name rhymes with Raymond. And I'm happy to be on board. So look forward to get to know you guys.
I did not think of that. My wife pointed that out to me. She's like, "Well, you made that pretty easy." Yes, that's great. And then with Ramey's actually going to be staying with us, which we're really excited. She's in the room, and she is going to be changing roles here. We'll let you know more about that next month. But she's going to actually have an opportunity to work with more of the departments here at IFG, and also more of you as well. So we're really excited to have her in the house. This is outside of Focus, my third time I've seen you since Luke was born.
Yeah.
So, or at least I see her on Zoom screen all the time, but in person. But really excited. Not just to have Amy on board, but have Ramey as part of the team moving forward and a little bit different role. So more to come on that. All right. All right, retreat update. I want to go through, I've already talked to you, obviously Nick Murray. We have spoken kind of at our first call with Amy Gragnini from Chick-fil-A, and it's going to be great. Really excited for her to talk about kind of her career, but also just development and how they look at culture at Chick-fil-A. I think it's going to be a great session. That will be on Friday, right after lunch, I believe. And then I want to just share a little bit about some sessions. We'll get some more information out, but we're going to start off with kind of a behind the scenes from a client's point of view. We're actually going to have an advisor or two up there on the stage with their clients, actually sharing the value of a financial planner from the client's point of view. And so we're really excited about that. That's going to be something we've never done before, and looking forward to what might come out of that. The advisor snapshot, we're going to actually talk to one of our advisors, and we'll share more on what that's going to look like. But we've had a significant change, a lot of growth, a lot of things going on in their business around succession planning and things along those lines. That's going to be a great glimpse into their practice and the things they've done over the last couple of years to get to where they are right now. Financial planning workshops, we continue to get these better and better. Excited about that. Expect to get some of that information ahead of time, obviously. And you're going to be in workshops. We're not going to bring it back up on the stage again to talk about what you talked about. We're just going to let you guys work it out and have two sessions where you go through two different financial plans. And I think that's going to be great for everybody. And then I got to ask a question. If anybody remember inside the advisor studio, let me pull that up real quick. The actor studio. The actor studio. If y'all remember this, I love this because there's a guy on the left who actually did the show, and on the right is Will Ferrell from Saturday Night Live when they used to do kind of snippets on this. It was always like a deep dive into what the actors were actually thinking when they were doing things, and lots of fun. We're going to have inside the advisor studio where we actually did a survey, and you guys sent us a lot of information, a lot of questions you had, things you want to hear from your peers. And so we're going to have 3 of your peers up there talking about how they handle certain situations. And again, all from your feedback from them. So inside the actor studio, I'm excited about that. That's going to be a lot of fun. So I'll have to work on that one. I'm not sure who's going to be that, but we'll come up with somebody.
Don might be the closest.
Oh, Bonnie White is back in the house. And
I can't even
any updates?
defend myself.
Just a reminder, registration has gone out, so it is due December 5th. So get registered. If you would like your licensed admin to join the retreat this year, let us know because they did not get the invite link, as we need to know that they are licensed. And then we've been getting a lot of questions about non-licensed admin joining the retreat. Yes. Depending on what you want them to join, yes, they are able to join the retreat. However, you will need to cover the cost for your non-licensed admin. If you have any questions about registration, please email our retreat mailbox at retreat@infingroup.com and get registered. We still have a lot of people that need to register for the retreat, so sign up.
Yeah, if we don't know you're coming, it's going to be hard for us to have a hotel room and food for you. All right, one other thing that I forgot to mention here. Right after this presentation, Greg Bennett from Blue Hawk is going to be doing a presentation of kind of this software kind of he developed that interfaces really well with ClientWorks. So if you're an advisor or associate advisor, it's definitely something you might want to stick around and listen to. So thank you, Greg Bennett, for doing that. We appreciate it. So switching over to business development now, Cooper Welch.
All right, thanks, Land. So this was something we wanted to put on y'all's radar. LPL has rolled out a new referral program. It looks very similar to what IFG offers, but for a limited time, and I don't know what that means. I've been trying to figure out what the time frame of the limited time is, but if I figure that out, I'll let you know. But for a limited time, LPL is offering a reward of 6% of the trailing 12 months GDC up to $60,000 for a referral given to us from a different broker dealer. So that advisor needs to be at a different broker dealer and not already in talks with LPL. But as you can see from some of the examples we have up there, you can receive that 6% from LPL in addition to the 2% offered from IFG up to $20,000. So what I put up there was a typical advisor, maybe, a stronger, more experienced person, $500,000 of GDC. You'll receive $30,000 from LPL and $10,000 from IFG for a total of 40 grand. The maximum would be 80 grand. If you find an advisor of $1 million, just do some quick math since we have a lot of excellent number crunchers in the room. The maximum reward would be 80 grand based on the limitations, but it's a really generous program, and obviously IFG will also be honoring our commitment to giving bonuses for receiving referrals who join IFG. So yeah, just wanted to put that out there. I think we have a link that we can send out as well that takes you directly to the LPL page for making sure that you get flagged as the referring party for this advisor. And yeah, just our pipeline looks really good right now, so we appreciate you guys partnering with us and bringing referrals to the table. We have great advisors that we're in talks with, and we've had great advisors already join us this year. So continuing to grow IFG, and we appreciate you guys helping us with that.
Awesome. Thank you, Cooper. And just kind of a reminder, I would say the number's probably 3 out of every 4 advisors that have joined us over the past 12 to 15 years came as a referral from one of our existing advisors. And that's just one says a lot about the people in the room, and also a lot about our vetting process, because we do turn out literally about 9 out of every 10 we talk to. So very generous of LPL. My guess, Cooper, is they will keep that going until they hit a certain number that they have in mind.
Cool.
Perfect. All right, we'll keep moving forward. Compliance update with Crystal Epstein, who is somewhere in North Georgia right now.
I am. I'm in Gainesville at Strong Daddy Lee's office, and they have it decorated for Christmas. So I just feel like I'm in a winter wonderland with the weather and the decoration. So feeling good today. Good morning, everyone. First on the list, we're going to talk about your year-end requirements at LPL, your CE, all that is due if you have not done it. I know you've been getting emails, possibly from LPL, from us, letting you know you have something due. What we're looking for you to complete by now or tomorrow would be your annual compliance meeting. So if you didn't go to Focus, then you can go into the Learning Center and there is your annual compliance meeting that you will have to watch. Your annual questionnaire and code of ethics, you will go into ClientWorks to your My Compliance office to complete that if you have not. Your IARCE, and that's for advisors in the states that have adopted this policy. You can type in Google IARCE or go to the NASAA website to complete that. Find a vendor that you can complete your classes through. So do that as soon as possible. And then your FINRA CE. So if you go into your advisor compliance tool, then the advisor profile page at the bottom right, you can see what your status is. If you have not completed it, it'll say incomplete. You can click on the FinPro website link and go in there and complete that. And that is based on what licenses you have. They'll have classes there for you to complete. So make sure you do that as soon as possible if you have not done already. Moving on, the next topic is for our RIA only and hybrid advisors. If you have WealthBox, you may have noticed Laurel Resendez or Nick Schenk might have been added to your WealthBox access. This is just because we are trying to help you guys out for your annual audits to get your client notes. So instead of having you do the job or do the heavy lifting, we're going to do the heavy lifting. So going forward, we'll be going in there with your guidance on how to collect your client notes, however you have them tagged or saved in there, and we can pull those for your audits going forward. So another benefit of having a wealth box. Lastly, for the hybrid and RIA only advisors, we will be having our year-end training coming up soon in the next probably a few weeks. It will be excuse me. It will be due at the end of the year. So I believe we're going to be doing classes for you to watch. So nothing that you'll have to be present for on a date, but something you'll have to complete by the end of the year. That is it for compliance, but I see that I also have the next section, cybersecurity. So let's dive into that. So we're pairing with operations to come with cybersecurity information, some information to help you with keeping your practice, your client information safe and secure. First, we're going to talk about LPL requirements. They are requiring an annual risk assessment each year. In the past, we have relied on the cowbell reports, which if you haven't seen them, it's a very comprehensive report, but it's looking outward. What's going on outside in the dark, deep web? What are your risks out there? We have been looking at LPL's workbooks and what they're requiring for risk assessments, and we believe that, and we all know your greatest risk is internal. So what we're going to require is that you complete either the LPL workbook, you can schedule a meeting with a virtual cybersecurity person at LPL and they can do a risk assessment for you, or you can work with Emerald, who is our IT provider, or your own IT provider to do a risk assessment. I will be sending out more information on this and what LPL's workbooks are for you to complete, but this will be an annual thing that you will have to complete, you'll have on file, and you'll send it to us in operations for us to make sure that you have completed it, because we have to protect ourselves. We have to protect our clients, and this is the best way to do it. So moving on to NDAs, which is protecting your information and client information. If you are outsourcing any kind of function to a third party where they have access to client information, whether it's a cleaning crew, it's an IT person, it's a consultant that is maybe going into your CRM to help you clean it up, you need to have some type of documentation on a file like an NDA or a third-party service provider, just to make sure you are telling them that you cannot share this information with anyone else. We need to protect ourselves. So there are some templates in the Resource Center. You can go out there and I believe you can search up privacy, but you can also contact us, compliance department, and we can provide you the correct document for that if you don't already have one on file. So go back, see what you have on file for your cleaning crew, for your IT people, make sure you have some type of NDA on file. Lastly, we're going to have a cybersecurity town hall that we've already mentioned. Daryl from Emerald will be coming. He is so smart and has so much information to help us guide through the cybersecurity world. We're going to be going over IFG cyber policy. We're going to talk about cyber insurance and the importance of making sure you're doing what you said you're going to do. If you ever have a claim, you may not be able to collect on that claim if you're not doing what you need to do, protecting your computer with password protection, encryption, all the good stuff that you should already have on there. And then we also have a checklist to make sure you can stay compliant and make sure that you're following that to ensure you're doing what you need to do. So more to come on that. We're excited to have Daryl there because he is just a wealth of knowledge. So that is it for me today. Hope you guys have a great day.
Great. Thank you, Crystal. And Crystal's up in with Strong Gaddy Lee up in Gainesville, and Karen Cook is on her way up there as well. So they're going to get a full dose of IFG today. But cybersecurity is a big deal. I don't want anybody to look at this as just another checklist, another thing, or a burden. It is a big deal, and so we really want to up our game, making sure that you have the protection that you need, and also tapping into the resources we have, which is Emerald with Daryl. Obviously LPL as well. So that's something we really want people to lean in on and take seriously. And it's a big deal. And it's probably the greatest threat to us and our role as financial planners and our clients' information. So thank you, Crystal. And thank you to the operations team. That's working really hard on that as well. It's a good segue. Operations HR update. Laura Spedman.
So we've been getting a lot of emails and questions about our health insurance. We just wanted to let you guys know that we're currently looking at preliminary rates with John Perry, who is our broker. He's working with Cigna to figure out our rates, and we should have some numbers by the end of the month. Just a reminder that our open enrollment is in December and our renewal hits January 1st. So we still have time, and just keep an eye out from Karen on an email about our health insurance.
All right, thanks so much. Advisor Solutions, Bryce Silver.
Good morning. All right, first investment solutions. We've got the DFA quarterly update call coming this Thursday, November 13th at 11 a.m. If you haven't joined those, recommend you do. They always do a really good job of breaking down information and just giving you a good insight on what not only the models are doing, but also the overall market. So I highly recommend joining that DFA quarterly call. And then for a DFA conference recap, so here's a photo of us up in Charlotte. There's about 15, 16 of us that got together. Thank you for zooming in. It was really awesome. First of all, it's really great just to get together with everyone and spend some time. But also we got to hear from DFA, a lot of the big wigs up there, including their co-CEO, CEO and CIO joined us. And we learned a lot, not only about the behind the scenes with the trading processes they do, the pricing they do, but also some practice management and things that we could take away. But it was a really great trip. We do this about every other year. So if you didn't join this time, would love for you to join next time. It's always good. You get to learn, you get to get together with your peers and spend some time together. Moving over to ASAP. The LPL Q4 Office Professionals Town Hall is going to be Thursday, November 20th at 3 p.m. It's a good way for the support staff to hear updates from LPL and to learn what's going on. You can register through the Resource Center to join that. Transfer forms added to bundling workbench, not funding. And so what that is there's going to be an update on the e-signature release on November 15th. And the idea is that we're going to be able to add transfer forms to this bundling workbench and reduce the number of emails sent to clients. The constant effort to make it easier and streamline things going from you to your clients. New accounts and move money forms. So our team noticed there was some technical issues when including move money forms in the new account opening paperwork. And after talking with Hayes and getting with LPL, this is a known issue and they are working on it. But right now they recommend using the move money separately through the move money tool rather than including it in the new account opening. So for now, keep it separate. We'll give you an update. They're working on it. It's known, but for now, just do them separate and make sure that they go smooth. And then the updated power of attorney form and process. I'll make sure I get this right. So LPL released a new POA form, F627. So instead of uploading the court document with the F1C supplemental application, there's a required information selections related to the power of attorney relationship. And we've included a little tip sheet right here that you can see for reference. So just be aware of that and the update going out there. That's all I got.
Known issues. Known to who?
Well, now
I would say if anybody on our IFG team ever says to you that it's a known issue, just pull the trigger. Sorry. It drives me nuts. All right, we'll keep moving forward here. More upbeat marketing update. Jason Bokina.
More upbeat.
More upbeat.
Good morning. All right. Zoom out here. Sort of rapid fire here. A lot of this I've covered throughout the year, but looking into 2026, things to focus on. Social media, start recording. Short form videos are still the leader relative to social media. Prospecting tools, automating outreach, working with compliance to move more of these tools through the system. We spent some time with Reply Assist the other week, again, just working smarter, not harder, relative to the outreach for prospecting. Case studies, I've talked a lot about that this year. as far as documenting client wins, email, personalizing your messaging, newsletters. A lot of advisors have made that switch this year as well to convert to newsletters. Reviews, if you're comfortable, or testimonials. Again, I've talked quite a bit about that. So again, going into 2026, still just as important. Website, so a couple of things here. Obviously, curb appeal. If you haven't updated your website in some time, people are checking it out, right? No different than buying a house. If you're looking, doesn't have the curb appeal, keep driving in most cases. And then crystal clear positioning, just again, taking a look at just what you've written on the website, and is it crystal clear? Is it speaking to, your ideal client, et cetera? So just kind of, just taking a second look at that. AI search, and again, it's, from an SEO search perspective, the more content, the better. That's always been a driver when it comes to search, just adding a lot more content. Blogging is a good way to do that. And then print media, just kind of going back old school, as far as, what can we send as far as, how to handwritten notes, postcards. I know some of the advisors do print newsletters as well. So again, just kind of go a little bit retro there to put stuff in people's hands, just because our inboxes are just way overcrowded at this point. So kind of stuff to think about. But if you've got any questions, obviously reach out to me. That was a lot right there. But again, I've covered most of this kind of off and on throughout the year. And then one more article to share. The powerful psychology behind LinkedIn posts, that book Discovery Calls. A lot of great takeaways from this. Just subtle changes you can make in your messaging, as far as understanding your target client, ideal client, and what their psychological fears and worries are. And again, just making those subtle changes. So painting specific transformations using numbers and time frames. So for example, and then they reference this in the article, instead of saying build your business, say book 5 qualified calls in 30 days without cold outreach. So again, painting a specific transformation using numbers and time frames. It's a subtle change. And then one more, ending with the possibility or one simple action. So instead of ending with book a call with me, try this one thing today. So again, just simple, subtle, changing in the messaging to kind of move conversations forward. But just a great short article that just nails it. That's marketing.
Great. Thanks so much. I'm going to switch over to Andrews Brown. It's going to talk about LPL update and practice management.
Yeah, good morning, everyone, and thank you to all the veterans that are part of IFG. Very much appreciate your service. So LPL mentions a lot of things are coming. So Hayes and I decided to request a call to figure out what's going on with service, because that's been an issue that we've seen coming up in the problem resolution. So we had a call last week with an SVP, and wanted to share 4 kind of main evolutions and enhancements that are coming, or are already in process, but will take a while to work their way through. So LPL has completely rechanged and revamped their approach to hiring talent at the service level. They are now requiring college degrees, and upon being hired, a new service professional that's coming in has 2 weeks to pass the SIE. If they do not pass the SIE, they are no longer an LPL employee. So they're really trying to raise and elevate the level of talent that they're bringing in, and to make sure that the service professionals have an idea what they're actually talking about and what y'all are talking about with your clients. So I thought that was great. So far, they've had a 92% pass rate on the SIE. They've had, I think, 3 cohorts of college graduates come through. Each class is about 40 to 50 people. Obviously, this will take time to cycle through as they continue to learn and grow and develop. But I thought that was encouraging. And also, people are now, on the service teams, are now required to be in the office at least 3 days a week. Monday is required for everybody. So hopefully that will cut down on a lot of the distractions and feedback we've received about professionals not being very professional. Second thing, they are rolling out in Q1 of 2026 an AI-enabled search tool for the service professionals. What LPL realized is that through all the hold times and all that stuff, they did a very poor job of actually getting the information to people when they needed it, when advisors were on the phone with them. So an opportunity to improve the speed of answer around an AI search with all of the tools that the service professionals have internally. One thing that's coming out of the Commonwealth acquisition, this was a tool that they had, is going to be a new case management system, which has a tool which will enable two-way communication within the tool. So you won't have to call in. You'll be able to actually send in questions, ask for status updates, see where status updates are with the person on the case team that is actually working on something for you or your team. And then this seems very simple, but the fourth thing is actually empowering service professionals to be able to handle things on the front end. They did an audit. This kind of blew my mind that there were 73 things that the frontline service people were actually not allowed to do when they had an advisor or a member of their team on the phone. They had to set up a case or set up a ticket for somebody else to handle it, which then delayed things. Something as simple as what she mentioned, Mary Kate on the call, was they couldn't cancel and reissue a check. They actually had to set up a ticket for somebody else to do it, which would take 3 to 5 days. So hopefully those enhancements are coming. There are several more things that they share with us, but I wanted to highlight 4 of the enhancements that I thought would be most relevant, certainly from a talent level and communication and being able to track and monitor things. As we switch to IFG new assets, so we're 10 months into the year through October, 963 million in new AUM so far this year. So congratulations. That is about 22 million shy of all of last year. So continued great progress on finding new clients and helping existing clients and finding more AUM. By contrast, in 2024 through October, it was 765 million, and in 2023 it was 676 million. So just for comparison, this year to date versus those prior years. And net new assets so far this year, so that's what actually stays, is just under 340 million in net new assets. Moving on to practice management, a couple articles to highlight. I'm going to go through them quickly because you have them in front of you. So since this is holiday season, it's also the planning season. This is the Simplified Business Planning Workshops. I thought this was an interesting article. We track a lot of KPIs, but actually looking at the median fee in your practice. So that is the annual fee paid by your middle client of all your clients, and how measuring that relative to capacity and growth can be pretty impactful. So take a look at this article. It's got some great examples in there of how that was going down and the team was going crazy. The next 2 are on AI. This will be a continued theme. The first is really the 4 pillars of AI fluency for advisors. This is from Horse's Mouth. Sean Bailey, if y'all get his stuff, does a lot of great stuff. The 4 main areas, fluency. So AI is a thinking partner to help us think through things. Clarity certainly matters in the prompts and how we're using it. The third thing is a acronym that they have. It's RTFCQE. It stands for the role. So put yourself in the role of what you're trying to ask, the task, the format, the context, questions, and examples, and all of that's in there. And then one thing AI cannot do right now is actually replace human judgment. It can help us make decisions, but it doesn't replace judgment. And then the third article comes from Don's Jump note taker who attended a session. So I thought this was pretty great. But it highlights really 5 features to use in ChatGPT. I'm sure there are others if you're using other AI tools, but really some of the advisor trends, some of the statistics, it's all in here. The 5 features to use, I will read them quickly. The first one was creating images. So ChatGPT has gotten much better at creating professional images. Personalization and customization. So personalizing ChatGPT for you. There's a voice and dictation mode that you can use. A project, so you can, just like in our computers, you can have files and store projects and work on them from time to time. And then obviously their last thing is a deep research mode to go really under the hood, and all of those require actually having an account paying for the service. And then there are 6 to-dos at the end of the article. And with that, I'll turn it back over to you, Lan.
Awesome. Thank you, Andrews. That's great. Don's gonna hit on a few things, podcast, wealth management, advisory, Don.
Yes. So the podcasts are just, they're so much fun. And I know all of you pretty darn well. I've known a lot of you for a long time. I've been in the profession over 40 years, and I continually learn things from every one of these, whether it's a G2 interview or a highly experienced advisor. The episode 31's with Alan Braddock. He's down in St. Augustine, Florida. Fascinating background, fascinating history, some great ideas and tips. And again, I encourage all the G2 should be listening to these things, and most of the senior advisors, I think, will find something from. And I believe it's laid out so you can actually look at, 5 minutes, 32 seconds. This was talked about, so you can go right to it if you don't want to listen to the whole thing. And you can always speed them up too. Temp Davis, just amazing career change and what he went through and the things he's learned and implemented. And going forward, Jason has asked if we have the camera on. So the last two that'll be coming out, the cameras are on. It's kind of fun. And so yes, there will be video with the future ones. Wealth management. This was an interesting article in the Wall Street Journal on the complexity of these premium credit cards. And one, it's probably worth a quick read. I don't know if you want to become an expert and help your clients. They're talking about people using spreadsheets to make sure they get all the rewards with their various cards. It made my head hurt, but it was interesting. The police, and I don't know that people actually get the benefit for what they're paying for these things. But yeah, you could become an expert in this and make that part of your progress review meetings. 2025 end of the year tax plan. We've had quite a bit of information put out. Again, I've run this stuff through AI. This is a Kitsis piece again, which, as you know, is pages and pages. And so it's a simple bullet point. Probably save it for a referencing. This is a real issue. It always has been. It's very sad. So this lady's husband died unexpectedly in his sleep. He took care of all the financials. Everything was on a spreadsheet. She didn't know how to do anything. And so they go through the emotional part of it, how difficult that is. And I've always required both spouses to be in the meetings. And I really get it. Some people just hate this stuff. And so that's a reminder for us not to talk about acronyms and just make things super simple and understandable. I know in the past, when we have it on the hub and the library, it's a simple organizer. It's literally just a checklist. It says the will is in the safety deposit box, and this is here, and you just check it off, check it off, check it off. And it's very simple and gets done. Also, passwords is a huge issue these days. Every password somehow has got to be in a safe deposit box or something like that. But this is a big issue. It happens a lot. One spouse takes care of all the finances and the other one doesn't. So this was interesting in advisory similarities between the difference between the AI boom and the 2000 crash in 1999. And this is JP Morgan, David Kelly. It was focusing on back then, fiber cable was being laid like crazy. It was in a boom, kind of like all the AI centers. And we're looking at, so are they AI, are they overbuilding? And simply saying, I think the demand back in 99 for the cable was like 8%. There was no demand at the time. It eventually did, but they overbuilt big time. Right now, that's the opposite with AI centers, is the demand is really, really there. And this doesn't go into it, but the 2000 crash, the Nifty, the dot-com era of the late 90s, most of these companies weren't even making money. So we've got the Magnificent Seven. These are extremely profitable companies. They're spending all this money. It's their cash flow. They're not borrowing. So from that aspect, it's very different. They're still expensive, but very, very different from 99. And lastly, gold's been on a tear. Nobody knows exactly why. This is a great chart. I've known historically, and I forgot to put this one in. Dimensional has a study that shows that gold really is not an inflation hedge. People think gold is an inflation hedge. And I've known also that gold isn't that big of a performer. Well, here it is in black and white. It's basically gotten the same return as corporate bonds over time with the same amount of risk as US stocks. I mean, the best investment historically has always been the stock market. So that's it.
Awesome. Thank you, Don. Good stuff. Reminder, we're going to switch over to the Atlanta office stuff, but if you want to stick around for Greg Bennett's walking through his interface with ClientWorks, definitely stick on with for a few more minutes here. If you're going to drop off, I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Thanks for being on today. And anything you need, obviously reach out to us, but grateful for each and every one of you and thankful for you. So Atlanta office update, Laura Stone.
Awesome. So fire drill tips and information. So we had a lovely fire drill 2 weeks ago. Everybody loved it, especially since it wasn't cold outside or raining. There was that chance. But we just kind of want to go over some additional information that you guys might not be aware of. The operations team doesn't always know when we get a fire drill. And if we do know that there is a fire drill, we look at our calendar of client appointments to see if during that time an advisor has a client coming in, and we will notify you and let you know, hey, there is a fire drill. We are not going to announce it to the entire office, but we will let the advisor know that there is a client so that they can either delay their appointment or just have the client do the fire drill with us. That's always fun. One thing that you guys may not know is we could be fined by the county if our suite is not emptied. So that's why we don't necessarily let you guys know about fire drills. That's why the operations team walks around the office to get you guys moving, so that because the county does come out for fire drills and they sometimes do a sweep and look at our office, and we could potentially get a hefty fine. Also, for clients that are coming in, if we do not know that they are here, we need to keep track of everybody who is in the office as well as the clients. So, because when we get down to the bottom, the building asks us, hey, is everybody out of your suite? Is everybody accounted for? And we have to include your clients that are coming into this office to make sure that they are also accounted for. So that's why we have you guys go to the designated location. We don't like when y'all go to the cars or the parking deck or necessarily spread out. We kind of just like us all consolidated so that we know that you're accounted for, that you're safe, your clients are safe, and we can notify the building. If your client is handicapped and they are not able to use the stairs, that is something that we pay attention to. That is something that we need to know, because we are not going to, the policy is to let that handicap client or person sit in the stairwell, and then the firemen will come and get them. We have to notify the building that, hey, there is a handicapped person on our floor and they need direct attention. So that's also why we need to be informed when clients do come in. We constantly tell you guys to let us know. This is one of the reasons why, in case there is an emergency, we need to know if your clients are, if anybody is coming in, wholesalers, clients, your family, we need to know. And then just some fire drill tips: stay calm and act like it's real. Use the stairwells to exit. The fire wardens, which is what our department, you see us in our lovely orange vest. We are called fire wardens. There is a role for it. That's why we walk around in our orange vest and make sure that you exit the suite safely. And then lastly, our designated assemble point. It is not in the parking deck. It is in front of the parking deck where those 10 or so spaces of parking spots are. That is where we meet. That is where we will all get together so that we can kind of do a rough head count. or ask your team, hey, is everybody accounted for? And then we'll let the building know. So those are just our fire drill tips and information. We're gonna post this in the main kitchen on our bulletin board. So yeah, if you have any questions, please reach out to us, but fire drills are important. Next, Dana Wilson is gonna talk about the health reminders. It is that season.
Yes. All right, everyone. So I'm seeing the boots come out, the jackets, the sweaters. Y'all look great. But that's the indication that the weather is changing. And with Georgia, it's drastic and unpredictable sometimes. So that naturally affects our immune system. Us at operations, we just want to be proactive about the seasonal bugs that come around. So just some gentle reminders that as it changes, be aware of your allergies, or any sinus issues or anything happening with your immune system, keep it boosted. We want people to feel comfortable coming into the office. So it's not just about one person, the individual. We want to think about everyone as well. In addition to the break room hand sanitizers and Lysol sprays that you see, if you would like your own sanitary items for your cubicle, your office, please let us know. We can provide them. We have Kleenex tissues. We have a variety of items that you can use at your own station. We just don't leave it out for everyone because we don't want to be wasteful. But we do have some in our storage. So please feel free to reach out to anyone on the operations team. If you are not feeling well, the nose is dripping, the headache is there, it's okay if you stay home and recover that way. Just let us know. And then also, we want you to stay hydrated and mobile in the office because your health helps our overall office health. So this will be posted in our break rooms as well. Just some gentle reminders. You all are already great. We just want to be proactive this season. All right. Thank you.
It's awesome. Thank you, Dana. Yes, changing weather. It was 72 degrees here in Atlanta on Sunday, and we had snow flurries on Monday. So that is real weather change. So thank you all. I hope you guys have a great one. We do have Greg Bennett up next. Hope everybody has a wonderful day and a great month of Thanksgiving, November, and a great Thanksgiving. So y'all take care.
Hey, Austin, are you on there?
Yeah, hey Greg. Good morning, everybody.
There we go.
Good morning, everybody. Okay, well, we have what we call, if y'all are ready, we'll just go ahead and launch into this a little bit. We just kind of named it the Dynamic Retirement Income Plan Strategy. For anyone who's interested, we'll just go through kind of what it is and what it is not. It's essentially a simple high-level tool used to segment investments into buckets, kind of do the bucketing in a way that's partly analytical and partly visual. It's not meant to be a detailed projection model, not meant to replace financial planning, just more of an adjunct or an additional tool that kind of spells out a direction we want to go with our clients in terms of segmenting their investments or what they're blessed with financially. In the tool, kind of critical assumption is we assume a 0% real rate of return, no investment growth or inflation built into the tool. So that's kind of what we assume, just to be simple and clear and conservative in the assumptions. And we'll show it to you in a minute. And it really has been kind of an eye-opening thing to a lot of our clients, something that's helped them kind of visual and understand kind of what we're doing with their portfolios, that's consistent not only with the segmenting they need to protect from sequence of return risk or other risks associated with retirement income planning, but also consistent with their risk profile as we measure it in Riskalyze. So we kind of combine the two and develop a allocation for them and display it in the tool. It is compliance approved to show. We would happily let anyone use it who wants to brand it for their own firm and the tool. We'd love to give that as a gift to the consortium if anyone's that interested. We don't really expect that, but if anyone is, that's great. We'd happily let you all have it. Again, not comprehensive financial planning. We use Right Capital to develop the cash flow assumptions, and the idea around whether the plan itself can work for a client. And I hope you all can hear me. Anyway, it's also not designed for tax optimization. We do that more in Plan and Right Capital as well. Not, and it does not precisely factor in the portfolio's actual nitrogen risk speed, not a full replacement for portfolio design. I guess that's kind of the caveats there. So, Austin, if you want to show it and
Yeah, and I just wanted to
guide
point out one thing in addition is that the way we structured it in ClientWorks is we created household groups for each of our clients that include all of their accounts, and then we edited the columns that we needed to put into this spreadsheet, and then we have formulas within it that pick up all of the columns that are in ClientWorks after we download or export a client. We paste it into Excel, and then the formulas pretty much run the whole buckets for us. Aside from there's some manual updates. So I'll share it right here. And to start, the first thing we gather is the estimated monthly spending of our clients. And these are primarily for pre-retirees or late retirees. We get this information from the Right Capital cash flows. So we see how much they're spending on a monthly basis. And then we take into account a floor. So what the floor could be would be the Social Security, if they have a pension, if they have any annuities. And we subtract the floor from the estimated monthly spending to determine what their portfolio need is on a monthly basis. And the first bucket we start with is their bank assets. So this would be a checking account that they have at the bank. So this client in particular had $4,000 in their checking account. And what we do is we propose they have anywhere from 3 to 4 months worth of withdrawals in their checking account. And this is just a guideline. We also put the estimated nitrogen speed as a 0 to 1 speed for bank assets. And then the second bucket here is also generally kept at the bank. It could be high yield savings account or any CDs. This client had about $26,000 in the high yield savings account. We propose anywhere from 6 to 9 months of withdrawals in a high yield savings account for any of our clients that are coming into retirement or currently in retirement. So anywhere from 9 months to a year's worth of withdrawal at the bank. And then up above here, we show this as a visual of the volatility of the bank assets. So we pulled this from the index chart, and it shows the bank volatility. And then going forward, it shows the volatility of the other investment buckets. So the line here separates bank assets compared to investable assets. The first bucket here is the most secure bucket. We call this investment bucket number 1. This bucket we generally use as a guideline of anywhere from 4 to 10 years worth of withdrawals in this bucket. As you can see, the volatility isn't moving that much, but there's still risk there. This client had about just under 4 years worth of secure assets in investment bucket 1. And as I mentioned, we generally try to say in a conversation like this, hey, maybe it's a good time to rebalance to increase the year's worth of withdrawals in this bucket to maybe 4, 5, 6, up to 10 years of withdrawals. And that's generally based on their risk tolerance too. So some of our more conservative clients, they might want to be more at the 10-year marker. Possibly we even have some that want to be 15 to 20 years worth of withdrawals in this investment bucket 1. And this bucket primarily consists of short duration government bonds or corporate bonds, high grade corporate bonds. That's primarily what this bucket consists of, and then just also excess cash in the investment account. Then going on to investment bucket number two, this bucket consists of primarily large cap funds, so mutual funds, ETFs that are well diversified, anywhere within this 31 to 73 nitrogen speed. And it also includes high yield bonds as well. So if there's any high yield bonds in the portfolio. For this bucket, we generally use as a guideline anywhere from 2 to 8 years of withdrawals. As you can see, again, this client had about 1.92 years of withdrawals here. So they're running a little bit under our guidelines. And then just up above here shows the volatility line of the investments within investment bucket number two. Lastly is the investment bucket number three. So we say to our clients, we want a comfortable amount in investment bucket one and investment bucket two, and then we want to put excess funds into investment bucket number three, but it also aligns with their risk speed as well. And you can see the volatility here. This is sector funds, individual stocks, small caps and mid cap funds fall into this bucket. Estimated nitrogen speed of 74 to 99. And this client had about just over 6 years worth of withdrawals in investment bucket number three. So what we were concluding with this client was that, hey, they're thin at the bank and they're under the guidelines in investment bucket number one and two. This was about a week or two ago, this actual client scenario. So the market was at all-time highs too. And we said, hey, it might be a good time now. If you'd like, we can shift some of the winnings that you've got here in investment bucket number three and rebalance you into investment bucket number two to get this maybe up to at least 2 years, and then get investment bucket number one up to 4 to 5 years, maybe 5 or 6 even, because they're running pretty light at the bank as well. And then whenever they're pulling income from their portfolio, we pull it from this bucket here because there's not much volatility here. So if the market was to be down for about, if the market took a sharp turn, it makes more sense to take from here and not here. So we rebalance whenever the markets are high, and then we're consistently pulling income from this investment bucket one to feed their bank accounts. And that's pretty much a high level overview. Greg, do you have anything to add?
No, I mean, I think you covered it great, Austin. I would say two things. First of all, this was a team effort. It was, it's a fairly simple spreadsheet, really pretty easy to design, but the whole team really worked on it some. Austin took the lion's share of the work and does the lion's share of the presenting in the fashion that he did there. And he always does a great job with it. The thing I would say too is that those lines are from the index chart. Yes, they're hypothetical, of course. I mean, we're not showing actual risk numbers, just to kind of give people a comparison and contrast from bucket to bucket. That's probably obvious to everybody on this call, but no, I think that's it. If there's any questions or anything, if we want to get into heavy detail about the movement and the kind of integration with ClientWorks, it might be better to do an individual call or private call. Up to you all, however interested you are in seeing the further details. So. Not everybody at once.
Hey, Greg, this is Gerald. How are you doing?
Good, Gerald. How are you?
Good. Quick question. I know you shared this with me last time we got together.
Yeah.
Refresh my memory. Do y'all actually open separate accounts for the three buckets? How do y'all manage that?
No, we don't. There's a little quirkiness in the way we do it that's a little different than maybe how Income Conductor would do it or other tools. So we really do it by the asset type. So we're pulling in all the accounts, whether they're IRA, Roth, everything. We're not segregating necessarily in this particular tool by after-tax money and before-tax money and tax-free money. So if that's kind of what you're getting at, um, we do not have separate accounts. So the tool, really, the pivot table that Austin has developed from the data that we download, pulls in and categorizes things by investment type or asset type. So that's kind of how we do it. But so short answer is no.
Yeah, that is one of the caveats is that it takes it all in aggregation. And so whenever we show a client the big picture here, because we have some clients in particular that they might have, we want to pull from their joint account because it's maybe more tax efficient based on where they are in life, but their joint account is all over here. And then we reduce their risk a little bit to have their IRAs be in some of their IRA assets be in this conservative bucket here. And then we say, okay, if you need income, we got to find different strategies, or you could possibly pull from your IRA, but we don't want to do that because for the tax efficiency, we want to maybe pull from the joint account. So there is caveats. This is kind of the high level, and then we go into a client specific in detail to say, okay, what account does make sense to pull from if you do need additional funds.
Another point I would make along those lines is that the what was I going to say? How do I say this? The asset type will delineate what buckets everything goes into. And we really use this tool for some people well before they're going to actually be needing income, because we display it and we'll say, we want to get you to a point of making sure your after-tax bucket, if that's appropriate for them to pull from in retirement, is where we want to build over the next 5 or 10 years prepping for retirement. So that's kind of something we do within 5 to 10 years of somebody retiring, showing them we want to get to this point where you're adding to this, not just putting everything you have in a 401k or even a Roth for that matter, but just kind of having a balanced approach. It just stimulates conversation along those lines, if that's helpful to know.
Hey, Greg, this is David Gaines. Hey, let me ask
Hey,
a question real quick.
sure.
So you say this, you populate this. So basically you run a household report and then you're able to export, I guess, for lack of better terms, their global asset allocation, right?
Yes, we export it into a data, that data tab you see in the lower left corner.
Yeah.
I don't know if it pulls the client name. I don't think it does. We export all the data into that. Austin has developed a pivot table and then a lookup. We developed a lookup table by asset type that kind of combines the two. It's a program that allocates each asset type into a bucket, like you see there. So it's
Yeah.
really very simple. The data pours in from the data table we've created in ClientWorks. We just, like you said, we export it, copy it in, and we've got it. One of the things we're thinking, and one of the ideas that we had as a team was just, hey, how can we further automate this so that we could have almost a drips dashboard, so we could, if a client's on the phone, we could quickly, without doing the export and import and all that stuff and having a Zoom call, we could just say, well, we'll just do a drop down like we do for our advisor dashboard by client. Any clients who are retirees, pre-retirees, or late retirees, we could do a drop down and show just click the client name and it populates automatically. We haven't gotten there yet with that. So I don't know if that's helpful to you, David.
Yeah, no, I was just kind of understanding how it works because I mean, we use a lot of buckets in our and I kind of just draw it out, whiteboard for them to kind of understand. We do have a tool that's kind of similar, but it's not automated, so it's very much a manual process. At a high level, I just want them to understand the concept because this could be all one account, right? Or it could be three accounts, and you could have money for each segment in each of the accounts, depending on,
Yep.
where we need to pull it from. So really, I just, without, showing them how the engine works, I just kind of want them to understand, conceptually that, most people don't really understand the sequence of returns risk that this protects against. So,
Right.
but once you kind of get them at a high level, they get it. And then, then they say, okay, you just tell me what to do.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, we do combine it with the risk-alive score to kind of morph into a bucket allocation that hopefully makes sense. So there's several layers that we try not to go too detailed with at this stage with people. This is usually something we show if they're a retiree or pre-retiree pretty early in the relationship.
Yeah.
And that way it kind of avoids having to go through cash flow projections and risk and right capital and all that stuff that opens up cans of worms. So we don't want to open up in a individual meeting. But that's a very good question.
Can I ask a question? This is Jeree with Wealth Horizon.
Absolutely.
Okay. I really like how this pulls in and allocates to the buckets by asset class. I've been using Income Conductor, and my biggest gripe with them is that they're not integrated with ClientWorks, and they've been working for years to try to get that done. But basically, you've done it. So when you're actually managing the money, you're just going in and looking at, okay, what asset classes do we need to move? And what are those particular securities that we need to look at that are bucket one as you're raising their cash to move to their immediate needs. Is that correct?
That's exactly right. I mean, we have it set up in our system so that whenever we have clients pulling income, if we're raising cash, we're raising cash to transfer to their bank for income needs. It's always coming out of we have a capital preservation sleeve that's a bucket one, purely bucket one, a one speed and riskalize. So pretty much we've been using that for about the last 3 or 4 years. We've stayed pretty short on our duration. That may change, but I don't know if that answers your question, but we're always making sure that investment bucket one, if we can, for the clients, especially close to or in retirement or pulling their income, actually pulling the dollars from that bucket. And we can display that to the client and show them, okay, we're liquidating capital preservation to raise your income needs. And oh, by the way, that gives us the opportunity to pick and choose the times to allocate from the more assertive buckets, more opportunistic buckets back in there when we deplete those assets. I don't know if that answers your question, but
Yeah, and most of your clients, they don't want to know how you're actually doing it. They just want to know that you know how you're doing it, right?
yeah, there is that. We've got a mix, but yeah, generally most people are like, they get it when they see this and they understand why we're designing a portfolio a certain way. I think the fact that we added the graphs at the top and we can show them, okay,
Yeah, I think this helps a lot, the graphs on the top for the clients to see that.
yeah, it's very helpful because we can point to the blue line and we can say we don't want to be pulling from this bottom jagged edge when the market's down, so we allocate money when the markets are high and back into bucket one and two. And it's just visually it's helpful. It's really helpful. I don't know that we've had, I don't want to like, but it's been very helpful at, I don't want to call it closing business, a sales tool, because it's really a helpful tool to the client. Because most people don't want to look through. That was the biggest gripe I had with Income Conductor is it's complicated. It's really complicated. And I had that tool. I still have a subscription to it now, but I'm gonna probably drop it. But it's it's complicated. To me, I haven't learned how to show it in a way that is easy to understand for clients, or it is complicated, one or the other. So this just kind of spells it out in a way that we can explain and have the client's lights go on and say, wow, okay, this is why they're doing it this way. And this is why it's important to have a high yield savings account and have a checking account that's accessible with funds in it, and it tells a nice story. We've been pleased with the reaction we've gotten from it. So anything else, gang?
Hey, thanks for taking the time to go over this with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, appreciate y'all. Well, thank you. If there's nothing else, if anyone has any further questions, or just reach out to Austin or I directly through the consortium, and we would happily have another call. And if anyone wants to brand the tool for themselves, use it themselves, we'd happily provide it. It's really brand agnostic, frankly. So just let us know.
Yeah, or if you'd like
Thanks, Greg.
the details on just how to get it all set up, and how the data input will work, definitely would be able to help you out with that.
Thanks, guys. What are you having for lunch, Austin? He has a reputation of eating foot and a half sandwiches. It's amazing.
I don't know. I haven't really thought about lunch quite yet, but we'll see. It'll be a game time decision.
A hollow leg.
I'll send you a picture.
All right. I've got a collection.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate y'all being on.
Thanks much.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Appreciate it.